everyone, welcome back to my channel. I had a baby girl last October, so I haven't been able to post in ages, but I'm really excited to get started again, so let's start the new video, and no prize for guessing what the theme's gonna be. To make my 3D resin painting, I needed a mold to pour my resin in. I made this mold out of wood and I lined it with packaging tape as resin will not stick to this. I also sealed the corners with hot glue. Resin usually comes in two parts which you have to mix together so that it will harden. After mixing the resin and pouring it into the mold, I used a blowtorch to get all the bubbles out. When working with resin, always make sure that you're wearing the right PPE. Make sure you work on a flat surface so that the resin doesn't pour to one side. Make sure the mold is completely clean and make sure you get no moisture anywhere near the resin. Once I've poured the resin, I will leave it to cure for 24 hours and I'll have it covered as well so that you don't get any dust over it. I'll always leave it outside or in a ventilated area. Once the resin has cured, I'm going to be painting on it with acrylic paint. Once I'm happy with my painting, I'll leave it to dry for 24 hours and then I will pour another layer of resin. So I've checked my resin this morning and I was a bit disappointed because as you can see, it's not flat at all. There's all these horrible craters on there. And what I think happened was when I was painting, I used a tiny little bit of water to try and get my paint to blend better because I found it really hard to blend without the water. And I thought that it might have dried by now, but obviously there was still a little bit of moisture and moisture really does not go well with resin. So that's what happened here. But at least this could be easily fixed because I just had to pour another layer of resin on top and then it was cured flat. So when I was happy with my second painting, I poured another layer of resin on and it did not go well at all. I think the layer that I poured was too thick because it started curling in on the edges and there were still a lot of bubbles. Maybe they couldn't reach the surface quick enough before the curing happened. But anyway, I'm going to pretend that I did that on purpose. Just because it makes it look like, you know, snow or dust particles. I don't know, part of the effect. For my third layer, I'm actually going to put some 3D elements in, so I'm making Cemetery Hill out of polymer clay. Once I'm happy with the shape, it goes in the oven to harden and then I can paint over it. In the next few layers, I'll be doing the exact same thing. I'm using sculpting and painting, and then once that's dried, pour another layer of resin on and repeat. For my last layers, I painted some ghosts, zero, I super glued the pumpkins on the hill, and then did a final pour to make sure everything was flat. So it came out of the mold pretty easy. As you can see, it does need a little bit of sanding on the edges and the sides. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, even though there are a few bubbles in there. It kind of reminds me of the last scene with the snow falling down. It's a little hard to see the depth in the camera, but I really love how the bats are kind of flying towards you and how different it looks in different lighting. I would love to do something like this again, so do let me know if you have any other themes that you'd like me to do, and click on that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.